Hey people, Anthony, 4B4 Adventures. We've just upgraded our Rola Titan tray onto the new ridge mount mounting system and it's rock solid, but stay tuned, watch the whole video for it includes all the pros and cons, any little complications, bada bing, and I reckon there could be some upgrades in the Mark II or Mark III coming. So like I said, stay tuned. It is rock solid. We are very happy with it and definitely the strongest and pretty sleek looking mounting system we've seen.
The ridge mount, yeah.
Most people know we've already got the Rola Titan on our Prados. Mounting system is the LRS 034, I think it is, something like that. LRS 34, something along those lines. We've had the LAPX 008, which is the 6 points direct. The 008's that here, and those other two where the rails go on the Prado. 6 points direct to the roof. Look, it was probably one of the stronger options, but I didn't like it as much. I've got this set up on the 120 Prado. So for this 150, I decided to put rails on the GX and use that same mounting system. And it works quite well. You'll see some videos on one or probably our adventure channel. It's probably a Rola playlist, I'd imagine. And I've been standing up there. It's obviously quite strong, a lot stronger than what you need. But what I'm about to do, I've started by removing the shovel, the awning. Pretty straightforward to unbolt this and lift the platform off, the Rola Titan platform. So we'll get that off, and I've already sort of mainly unpacked this to see what's included in the kit. You can see your two ridge mounts, that's the important part. There's 6 mounting plates, a bag of nuts and bolts, so it looks pretty straightforward by that. There's 3 spacer plates, which I probably won't need because I don't actually know what their purpose is and what they're going to do, but I've installed them on the tray already from the previous mounting kit or the tray, whatever the case may be. And I might even, no I'm not, I was going to say I might even just throw the extras in there, extra strength, whatever, they're pretty light, but I'd have to pull the end off the tray to do that, so I'm not going to do that. As long as I don't have to do that to install this, I don't think so. I'd imagine it's a matter of removing the rails, which is remove the caps, and there's 2 bolts, and that's where these will bolt on, 2, 4, 6 each side. This will be the strongest mounting system, and the mounting, it says 300 kilos I think, but you know what, it'll probably take even more than that, but it's a matter of keep it light on your roof. So regardless of how strong you think you might need, I'm not recommending high weights on the roof, but like usual, we'll dissect the instructions and we'll put a video together for you, so stay tuned, go and get your beverage and I'll do some homework and let's get on with it. Look, I zipped through instructions pretty quick, so I could get it wrong, so stay tuned for a laugh. But just here they show you, they're showing the ridge mount, they're showing which nuts and bolts are going to be used to the roof at the bottom. But then in this diagram, they're showing you installing the little mounting brackets onto there, and it says assemble hardware to the ridge mount as shown. So I guess it means that, so I don't know why they've got that diagram. That's why you listen to me, not the instructions, right? The first thing you really do, it's pretty easy to work out which side's which. The closer together mounting is obviously the back of the vehicle, because the rear, the middle and the rear mounts are closer together than the front ones. So you can lay them out. It's pretty obvious to work out that this side here is what goes on the roof like that. That's what's going to be mounted straight onto the roof. They've got access holes through there to get to your Allen keys, whatever. And these plates, I've just got them sitting loose at the moment. You just use the flat washers and the nylock nuts. So we're going to get those sitting nice and square and nip those up for now. I'm not sure whether I should fully tighten them up, but I'm going to do that. I'll let you know later in the video if I shouldn't have done that. This is basically what they should look like once you've nipped them up, okay? Now, I didn't use a square, I just did a visual square, you know, roundabout. It's not furniture, it's a roof rack. As long as they're straight enough, I'm sure it's not going to matter too much, because there's all this adjustability in them. If it does matter, we'll loose them off later and make those little tweak adjustments. We'll get the 90-degree square out, but I don't think we need to do that. Okay, next step is we need to actually clear the roof. So I'm going to go and take all the rails off the roof. So you just remove the plastic caps. There's 3 plastic caps, front, rear and middle, and that'll expose the bolts. Take the front and the rear off, lift the rail off, and then any mounts, and give it all a good clean up and get some sealant ready, because you're going to need to seal those bolt threads. We never want any water going down there. It gets into the roof. It can cause problems with your electronics. Really important message here. They must be sealed really well. So I just lifted off the tray and I just thought it was a good opportunity to show everyone the LRS 34, how that works, right? So it's basically, these are your low mounts. This is obviously what bolts, it's all adjustable, what bolts to the roof rack. and your bracket goes underneath, and it basically just clamps on the rail there, front and rear. So only 4 mounting points, which does the job because that's a lot stronger than the weight you should be putting on your roof anyway. But anyway, I'll get these out of the way and get the rails off. And the hardest part's probably getting these covers off, and it's not that hard, but we remove them without any tools. Now they sort of hook in at the front. See those clips there at that end there? So that's the part you want to get off last. What holds it in at the back here? So there's little clips. So there's 2 clips inside and out that hook in under there, under there, under there, and under there. So what I do is basically I just manhandle it kind of thing. What I want to do is pretty much I push down on the top and just get it to pop out, so I get the outside. Once the outside's unhooked, then I sort of push it in. It makes a bit of a noise like it's broken, but it's just these ones at this side on the inside popping out. So they're a little bit fiddly, but you know, I can't hold the camera and show you, but you get the picture, don't you? At least you know that, you know, it hooks into there. So don't try and get that end off first. You want to unhook these clips here. You could probably use a, you know, trim tool, whatever you wanted to do, but it's basically pull it out that way, because the clips hook under there and there. So you want to pull it out that way. And once you do that, you can push it this way, which gets this side off, and you know, it just slides back. You can see those. The middle ones come off really easy. The front one's very similar. We've got one side down, we'll go do the other side now. Anyway, so now that we've got these off, there's rubber underneath, sort of helps seal it all up, but don't rely on it because dirt and water does get underneath it. It's quite simple. They look like 12 mils to me. We're going to zip those out. The one in the middle, you just take that bolt out, and once it's off, you can remove that last bracket. Too much information to share. So we've got the rails off, and if you've been on some outback trips and you clean your car properly, it'll probably be sort of something like this. You know, this sort of look. If you don't, it'll be even full with even more dirt. Now, the procedure is compressed air, blow out any loose debris now, and then get one of my favorite, you know, those yellow Kirkland cloths from Costco that you get the, what is it? I've forgotten, 36 pack for about $20. Absolute bargain, and they last forever. You'll buy 1 pack, it's going to last you forever. Everyone's going to Costco now. And I say Aldi by accident, that's wrong. There's something special about these ones. Anyway, then you get one of them, you give it a good wet up, you wring it out, and you come and clean all this. And then you go wring it out and you go and do all your 6 areas once again. We want it nice and clean, and it's a good opportunity to clean your whole roof. So some people, I wouldn't say go wash your car, because you don't want to get water in there. You can't take this out in the weather now. Water cannot go down those holes. Copy? Capish? Reasonably clean, right? Reasonably. You can spend more time if you want, but that's reasonably clean. We're going to use, look, to be honest, last time I think we used the RTV because we love the stuff. And you can see with the genuine rubbers and rails, it just pushes it out of the way because it's going to seal under there, and it's also sealed in the threads. It's just beautiful. And we'll do the same thing this time. We'll put some on the bolts with the threads, and we'll use it around here as well, because not too much there, you can see, and then it doesn't cause issues. It just does its job. Most of it in this case just pushed out of the way anyway. At this point, and no, that's not on the paintwork. Not that I'm too fussed anyway, but that's what you use this Rola ridge mount packaging for. You put it in the middle of your roof, so you can sit the ridge mount here, right? That's all locked up. We locked those up earlier, and you can see where the bolts are going to go. But before you do, we're just going to sit that down gently over this side. This is what I'm going to do because it's imperative that water doesn't get down in those. So I'm going to put sealant on the bolt threads. I'm not too fussed what you use, right? You can follow the instructions, use whatever they say. You can use roof and gutter seal, you can use RTV, you can use whatever you want. As long as it's going to seal those threads. I'm also going to put some at the bottom here. There's rubber washers I'm going to put on top around those, right? And then it's going to sit on top of the rubber washers, and there'll be a bolt, a washer, and a spring washer that goes on the top. They're the 25 mil long ones. There should be 12 of those. And what we're going to do is mount this, and it's going to sit like that, and then we can bring our tray along and use the remaining, should be 12 bolts. Yeah, and yeah, pretty straightforward. Bolt that up and Bob's your uncle. Job done. So personally, I've used the normal RTV around the hole, very lightly, at the base of where the rubber sits, on the outside of the white plastic, a little bit on the inside of the white plastic, and this much on the bolts. I do not want any water getting down those bolt threads. The aftermarket design on most roof racks isn't as good as the genuine. The genuine's got that whole rubber where the rails go on, the rubber goes over and it does a lot of the water sealing job. Water rarely gets to the bolt threads on the genuine setups, but with this sort of setup, the water can get in around there, the steel also, and it can sit in there and pull up, and there's more chance that it can leak down the threads. So you really want to make sure it's sealed up, because like I said, if you ever get a wet feeling seat belt, you've got leaks. If you get it on your front one, you face downhill, it can run down your pillar, straight onto your electronics down here, the glove box, kick trim down that area. So whatever you do, make sure these are sealed up. I'm not going to lie about it. I'm going to tell you the whole truth, the full truth, and nothing but the truth. So you can see the angle where how it folds in. It's very, very difficult. It's difficult even to get the bolt in and get the bolt started. I'm actually using 25s, I'll be completely honest. Out of the 12 in the kit, in the separate part of the bag, there was only 8, so there was 4 missing. So I've sourced cap screws, stainless steel, but I could only get 25 mil. So I can tell you 25 mil will suffice, but you know, being shorter even, see the angle? I mean, because the roof angles them away, so the roof sort of goes down this way, low to the right, let's say on the right side. And then you've got this angle here that's probably, I don't know, less than 90 degrees, probably 70 degrees, whatever it is. So it's just covering. So there really, in my opinion, needs to be another more cutout here to access that. Same with this one here. So, you know, if I can't get a camera straight on it, how are you meant to get an Allen key on it? Now, we've got the cut down Allen key happening, right? But in my opinion, and the next issue you've got, and I'm not picking on it, but this is with any aftermarket roof rack. The genuine one, the rubber sits over the ends of the trims here and holds them down. There's not much retaining these trims here, right? They just sit there. I just want to show you honestly. Look, it just sits there like that, right? So this design is kind of typical of an aftermarket design. They don't put the time and the thought into what Toyota do. There needs to be rubber that goes through there that would help seal the holes instead of washers, a rubber boot setup that would help seal up, and it would also help retain, keep these seals down. So the front one you're not going to lose because it comes off the side of the windscreen here, but this middle one, there's nothing. So it goes along here to the next, and there's nothing left retaining it, and there's nothing to stop. So now that's going to sit with, you know, water's going to sit in there rather than with the roof rails, you've got the rubber boot. So I'm here to give you all the information so you can make an informed decision. I'm not here to sell you a Rola ridge mount. I'm not here telling you I like this better or not yet. I'm going to put it on there. I'm giving you the installation instructions with all the information you need to know to make an informed decision if you want to go this way. Maybe there's going to be a Mark II or a Mark III, whatever, with a few adjustments. Get the right bolts in the kit, the right instructions, and maybe a couple of spares even for just in case. But and some holes. The biggest thing, some holes for access. People are really going to struggle. You can get it done if you're patient. You need a cut down 6mm Allen key to get in there. Okay. Look, I just want to show you. So we've got a, you know, angle Allen key, right? So let's get in there with the camera. And the only slot you can see at the top here is, okay, let's go for this hole here, right? That's the one for the line up. Look at the angle. Like, there's too much angle to get on that, and then it gets stuck. So you need, according to the instructions, you need an Allen key. I'll tell you, you need an angle one, and I've got this 6mm cut down. See the end's cut off it, which is not satisfactory fitting. Like I said, I can't. And look at this. There's no holes. What am I meant to go through this slot here? I mean, look at the angle on that. It's, you know, that doesn't work. It's too much angle. So it certainly needs holes. So I'm going to call this mounting system, if you waited to the end, this is the prototype. I hope this isn't on the market. This is the prototype, okay, that I'm testing out. And there's going to be some changes because people are going to be struggling to get in there. Now I'll show you, to get in there with the Allen key. Now you got this in the way. To be quite honest, they said put these on because it'd be easier to you know, do this on the ground, right? Not on the car. Well, I can tell you right now, with this not in the way, is easier to access these, because right where you want to swing your hand, that's in the way. And to get to these upside down bolts there, that's easy. Under there, That's easy in comparison to what's down there. So it's easier to leave these out of the way. So the whole instructions change. That's why you wait to the end. But there could be a Mark II, and it'll work the way it was meant to work as per the instructions with a bit more info added there. So you'll learn a lot from this video. Stay tuned, subscribe with the bell on, and we'll let you know when the changes have been made. And guess what? We might need to get another one and fit that up and make sure it all works, and we'll get an even neater, shorter video that shows how good the product is. Now, the other precaution is this is steel, so it needs a coating on it so that it doesn't rust away. So if you're in there with an Allen key scratching and whatever, or let's say you say, oh, I think I can get through there, it'll just rub on the edge a bit. You rub your coating off, then the steel will rust, things get messy, right? So it's not what you want. The other recommendation I'm going to say is, since there's nothing retaining that, it's probably wise to lift it up. Just put a tiny little dab of RTV on each end of it and glue the trim down so that it doesn't get blown out with a hose or the pressure washer, whatever the case may be. See up here, there's two sections there that you could lose. The back one, you're probably not. They're a little bit more secure, but there's not much holding it in either. You could just take them out because technically you don't need them. They don't do anything. It's just a good look and nobody's up there looking on the roof. So you could just take them out. But anyway, solutions, man, I'm letting you know what needs to be done. Just want to show you. See what I mean with the old system. It's got these rubber boots. So the first preventative measure is the whole thing's like a rubber seal. It's going to keep most, you can see just dirt, dust and debris in there. I'm sure some gets in there, but it keeps a lot of it out. And then you've got, see these, they're going direct. You can see how well it just, with that tiny bit of RTV I put, it's all sealed up, so nothing's going to get to the bolt. But then we've got sealing on the bolt as well. So look, as far as sealing goes, I like this better, but I'm pretty sure we can make do with that other system, the ridge mount, right? It's going to look good. It's going to be strong. It's going to, look, between the weight of those and taking this and the LRS off, it's going to be about the same as far as weight goes. It's just going to look good. It's going to be a bit lower, and it's going to be a little bit stronger, to be quite honest, okay? So, but of course you've got the steel there. You don't want to scratch the coating off. We don't want steel going rusty on top of Toyota Prados, right? Okay, so this is with the ridge mounts they're on now. They are quite, rock solid as they are. Now at this point what you should be doing is taking the vehicle outside now that all these holes are sealed and giving the roof a good wash and a polish and put some wax on it because it's going to be a while before you can get to it again. So once you've got your ridge mounts on, the final stage is get your helper to carefully lift your roof rack in position. And this is where all the people that went, what did you put that there for? It's just going to rattle with our previous mounting system. See I think it's the platform that comes with 3 of these things, right? And of course, with the LRS, you're only using 2. But I went, so I don't lose it, I'm going to leave it in there for extra strength, and it's sliding up and down, and people say, doesn't it rattle around? No, it doesn't rattle around at all. It didn't cause any dramas whatsoever. And because it's already there, it saves me pulling the end off and trying to find wherever I would have kept it and putting it in there. So basically you just drop your bolts, flat washers, top and bottom, nylocks at the bottom. All those bolts are in the kit. You just drop those all in the top. A little bit fiddly to hold the washer and the nut underneath, and just turn the top. These are easy to get started. And yeah, basically just put them all loosely, and then you can align where you want your, left to right. There's plenty of adjustment, left to right, backward, forward, all that sort of thing. And once you've got it where you want it, then lock those up, bada bing. There's obviously 12 of those, 6 down each side. Job done. Thanks for watching. We got there in the end. Stay tuned on other videos because we're going to bolt on our accessories, our awning. If there's going to be complications with it is definitely lower, so there could be complications with the awning brackets and the awning then hitting the paintwork. I'm not sure about that. I'm saying it may or may not be. So there's always pros and cons of every job. That's why you watch all the videos to the end. Get all the information you need to avoid when you come across doing the job yourself. Oh yeah, I remember that video. You said that was going to happen, blah, blah, blah. And of course, genuine feedback on all the products. This lower system, awesome. Yeah, awesome. I think we're down to about, I'm estimating, not measuring, in the middle of the roof, probably about 30 millimeters. So if you're going to put your K on table, then you might not have that clearance there, and you might be looking to space it up again. So maybe they're going to come out with a spacer kit, or someone will, to raise this one up as well. But look, it looks really good. It's definitely heaps strong. Like, compared to a Rhino, they've got those floppy around, like this tight, Rola Titan. Titan means strong, doesn't it? Titan, it's like Mate, I'm telling you, this thing is rock solid. This is one of the strongest platform and mounting systems I've seen. So there's pros and cons with everything. Bada bing, I like it. Let's see how it goes. There'll be more info and feedback and other videos on both channels. So subscribe, turn the bell on, and catch you there. See you guys.